Hello and a warm welcome to the Next Gen Racing YouTube channel for our weekend preview. 2 videos in a week. That's what we like to do here on the channel if we can. Jack, this week we've got kind of a merge of the flat and the jumps from Sandown. An excellent 2-day card there at Sandown. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, 100%. It's all about the Friday for me now. I think the transition is there. You look at Punchestown, you get the funny results now. You get a few funny ones at Aintree, but goodness me, at Punchestown, there's been a lot more testing conditions at Sandown. So hopefully it puts Adayar into a little bit of a test. But no, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, the rain is coming down at Sandown. I have heard from a few people that they're having rain at the moment. So who knows how much we're going to get. But we've got 3 races to preview on the Friday. 3 races to preview on the jump season finale day on Saturday. And we'll kick things off with the 225 on Friday. It's the Bet365 Gordon Richards Stakes, over 1.25 miles. 4 horses in here. An interesting little contest. And Adayar is the 8-13 favourite, and Matt 9-4. Regal Reality 14-1, and Highland Avenue at the outside the lot of 22-1. Jack, Adayar, an interesting horse because last season we only saw him in September, then go on to Champions Day, finishing second behind your beloved Bay Bridge. This time we might get a full season out of Adayar, seeing him right at the start of the flat season. What do we make of his chances here?
He should just go and win, shouldn't he? If and Matt can beat him, giving him £5, and I think you've got to retire Adayar. I really do. Look, he's a very, very classy. The King George winner, the Derby winner. I thought at Doncaster last year he was very impressive on reappearance, and look, gave a great account behind Bay Bridge at Ascot, and I think he is probably better over 1.5 miles. But look, 1.2 miles on soft ground, I think it's gonna be right up his street. I think he probably should have won the Arc as well if it wasn't for the bottomless conditions we got there when he was 4th. He just went for home a little bit too early, and that kind of bottoms him out before he went to Champions Day. But look, Adayar's back. Charlie Appleby said this is the one to look forward to this year. I said last year I thought he'd go unbeaten all year. Hopefully he can do it this year, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Adayar. I think he should just go and win this. And Matt, what did you make of the Qatar pre-dollar then, Jack? Do you just think the form of that's just not that strong? I mean, Junku, West Wind blows. It doesn't look the strongest, does it?
No, 100%. Beating Junku by head. What was he? He was 6th out in Maidan, wasn't he? West Wind blows. Yeah, they were beating quite comfortably 4 lengths back in 3rd there. But I don't really think it hasn't. To be fair, I say that. I think it does have a good roll of honour. Of course, you've got Dubai Honour, Scaletti winning it twice as well. So it does have a good roll of honour. I'd just be so surprised if Matt can beat Adayar off level weights, let alone giving him £5.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing Adayar back out. 8-13, not a price we'll be taking, but looking forward to seeing him make his return.
You say not a price, by the way. Should he not be about 3-1 on here?
Maybe, but are we not, with someone like Anmat, who's very unexposed, potentially could improve once again? You just never know, do you? And Anmat probably is that price based on that, and Adayar the same. But
I just think Anmat's probably got to run to 120, if not 125, to even be in with a squeak of beating Adayar if he's a little bit below par. So I do think I could see a case for, obviously I'm not going to have a bet at 8-13, but I could definitely see a case for Adayar being 2-5, if not 3s on here.
okay, maybe one. He could be one for the short price doubles and trebles for some people.
No, I'm not saying.
You're not. But some people might want to put it on based on that information that he should be a lot shorter. So you never know. Sometimes 8-13 can be value, Jack. We'll move on now to the 3 o'clock at Sandown. The Bet365 mile, obviously over 1 mile. It's a Group 2 contest, and Light Infantry, the 2-1 favourite here. Check and Challenge 9-2. Move to Sarbeck is 6-1. Migration, the Lincoln winner. Jack's had a great time with Migration so far this season. 7-1. Angel Blue 8-1. Potter Povers 12-1. Imperial Fighter 14-1 with Oisin Murphy on board. I mean, at the start of this call, before we came on, you said, I think we might put up the same horse. And now the rain's coming down, I'm hoping that we're going to be in agreement, because I actually think that what Migration did in the Lincoln off top weight on heavy ground was so impressive. Obviously, I didn't put it up. You did. But I do think that off top weight Migration going to do what David Manuzia said do in this race as well. Hold him up as long as possible and let him go really late. I do not understand Light Infantry being that price at 2-1. I actually think he's far, far too short. I'd rather have Check and Challenge, who seems to love Sandown and can be very versatile on ground. We saw him finishing 4th in the QE2 at the back end of last season. But I just think Migration on this ground, if it does end up soft, Jack, I think he's the one to beat. And 7-1 was much bigger early in the week. I think it's a fair price.
I'll be very happy to have two bets in this race. One is Migration and one is Angel Bleu as well. I think
Yeah.
Angel Bleu absolutely loves soft ground, lost his way last season. Frankie Dettori did get on so well with him as well. You look when he won the vintage at Goodwood as a 2-year-old, and we thought it's not a very good vintage. And then he went and won again and again and again. And he proved us all so wrong on those testing conditions, came back out as a 3-year-old and was third in the Greenham, I think it was, on good ground, then met good to firm ground twice in a row, went on to the all-weather, and then finally in April, Clue went and flopped completely on soft ground. I thought he'd probably run a better race than that when Ryan Moore was on board. But look, Frankie Dettori's back on board. He was on board when he was on that bold winning streak. I think Angel Blue's got a great chance. You made the case there, of course, on Migration. I don't really need to make that anymore. I think he could also stay a mile and two as well, as we have seen. So I don't think this mile trip will be too bad. Of course, Benoit's not claiming, which is a little bit of a negative, I suppose, if you were going to try and pick holes in him. But light infantry, I really, really fancied him for the Jacques Lemoyne when he was second to Inspiral. But look, on this ground, I don't get how he can be 7-4. I completely agree with you there. He's got to be. Mutasabet's giving weight away, but look, I just don't think he should be 7-4 whatsoever. If he goes and wins, then fair enough. But look, I think he's probably going to drift to about 5-2, 11-4 on the day.
Okay, Angel Blue and Migration for Jack. Migration for myself. My one worry of Angel Blue is I do think that Angel Blue could just be a 7 furlong specialist. I know he can win over a mile. I know it's possible, but he just seems the kind of horse, Jack, that you could see turning up in all the 7 furlong contests. I know there's not any Group 1s in the UK, but I think that's his ideal distance. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he did win the Criterium International
Yeah.
over a mile on very soft ground, beating Ancient Rome. I mean, the form wasn't really that strong looking on from it, but I do think he gets a mile. But no, I completely agree. Probably 7 furlongs on soft ground. Something like if there was rain before the Lennox, I think would be perfect for him.
Yeah, I agree. Oh God, we're already talking about group races at Goodwood. That'll be back next week. Goodwood. We're looking forward to previewing that. So yeah, Migration will be the one that the Next Gen boys will be cheering home. But Jack also with Angel Bleu in the Bet365 mile. Let's move on to the 3-year-olds then in the Bet365 Classic Trial at 3:35 over a mile and a quarter. Group 3 event. Arrest for the Gosden team, 7-4 favourite. Flying Honours 11-4. Salt Bay is 7-2. Circle of Fire is 10-1. And Relentless Voyager is 14-1. Now, Jack, this is always interesting at the start of the season. Very difficult for me to have a bet in this, backing 3-year-olds first time up. But there are some very good horses in here and potentially some that could go on to much, much bigger things. And Arrest and Flying Honours, these two horses have got form, both of them that tie in with a horse called Dubai Mile, who could be quite exciting. But the others, I think, 7-2 about Salt Bay may be fair on the performance in France. I think this horse is going to be very good over trips like this and further. But I wouldn't discount the likes of Circle of Fire and Relentless Voyager. I think they're two very good horses. And Sir Michael Stout, in the year of the coronation, this could potentially be the Derby horse. I know Slip of the Pen was potentially one, but that was a horse that is only going to be going over a mile. Maybe a mile two would be the stretch. But Circle of Fire, could this be the horse that goes and wins the Derby? He's very unexposed, Jack. And I'd probably side with Arrest just, but it's not going to be a confident selection. But I think they've all got shouts in it.
Yeah, no, fair play. I think Arrest will probably go and win this. I think that form last year at Clue in October was actually a good bit of form. Probably should have won that race last year. You're looking at Flying Honours. There is somewhat of a question mark over the ground. Of course, it's only been seen on good or good to firm ground. But his dam actually won on heavy ground on her last on, won out in France as well. He'll definitely stay the trip as well. Circle of Fire, as you say, very unexposed, so you've got to respect him all you can. But I think Arrest probably, I don't know if experience will tell here, but I just think Arrest, it would probably be the 1-2 for me, Arrest and Flying Honours, but I think it would probably be in that order.
Okay, yeah, well, it's interesting. You're side with the top two there. I do think there might be a little bit of a shot come through and put in a big display. I think even the outside of the lot, the good winner at Kempton, and could come on a fair bit from that run. A big 7-length winner there at Kempton. You never know what that horse has in the bag. So we'll have to wait and see. But an interesting classic trial. We'll see where horses go from there. Let's move on to Saturday then for the jump season finale. We've got 3 races we're going to be looking at there. And we start off with the 140 at Sandown. It's the 2-mile Bet365 Celebration Chase, a Grade 1 event. And John Bon entered here, first time in open company, 6-5 favourite. This has been well backed throughout the day. Grenadine is 9-4, Editor de Gite is 6-1, Captain Guinness 13-2, and Fernamble Sivola is 33-1. I suppose the first place to start off, Jack, is John Bon stepping into open company, well back since being declared for this race. What do we make of his chances?
Ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous. 11 to 10 is awful. It's just a terrible price, isn't it?
I agree.
Ratings has got £10 to fine with Grenadine, and Grenadine absolutely loves it round Sandown. I think it's absolutely remarkable how he's this price. But hey, look, maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree, and the 12 length winner of the race last year should be double the price. I think it's absolutely ludicrous. Look, I'd happily back all four of the rest against him. He could go and win impressively. I just don't think he's done much to justify 11 to 10. And plus, I don't really see him running, tell you the truth, with the ground the way it is. They'll have a look, obviously, tomorrow on the flat card. But look, he's got so much to prove. Grenadine's the obvious choice there, as is Captain Guinness. Wouldn't discount Editor Jeet as well. Doesn't have the amount of course form that you'd quite like to see. I think he probably prefers going left-handed as well. But I think Niall is absolutely top class. I know, obviously, we're slightly biased because he's been on the channel, but I'd make him number one ahead of Jamie Moore any day of the week. The way he gets horses to settle out in front, they hardly ever pull their head. I mean, Jupiter de I'd say, is probably the exception, but he is clearly just an absolute nutcase, isn't he? But Editor de I wouldn't put out, but I think probably it's not exactly a massive betting race, but maybe the way to go would be a forecast or a tricast. Well, you won't get a tricast, but a couple of forecasts without John Bon in it.
Okay, yeah, well, both against John Bon, which is interesting. I think John Bon's a fantastic horse, don't get me wrong, but I do think there are horses in here that should really be beating. I think Greenatine, 9 years old, but I think he's an absolute champion. I mean, look, he was unlucky in the Tingle Creek, ran into Edwardstone, who was just exceptional on that day, and since then has just been a bit unlucky, finishing in the frame all three times after his win at Exeter at the start of the season. But yeah, 9 to 4 I think is a fair enough price. If the ground does go really heavy, if it does get really soft, I would not discount Fernamble Sivola. I really wouldn't from the front. Editor de G, Niall said he doesn't think this horse wanted needs good ground. He said like the soft ground wouldn't be too much of a worry. I just don't think this horse likes soft ground. That's my opinion of that horse, Editor de G. Don't think that horse likes soft ground at all. But if it does get soft, I do not think that run in the Game Spirit was a fluke from Fernamble Sivola. I think if challenging Editor de G for the lead, they've all got to catch this horse. Venetia Williams does really well at Sandown. I think 33 to 1 could be far too big if the ground gets soft, but I think Greenatine is the most likely winner at 9 to 4. But yeah, Fernamble Sivola, if it does get heavy, I will be having an each way guy. You'll only get the two places, but I do think he's going to run a massive race for the Venetia Williams team. On to the big one there at Sandown then. This is the 3.5 mile Bet365 Gold Cup Handicap Chase, and Kitty's Light, the Ida Chase winner and Scottish National winner, 4 to 1 favourite in here. Revels Hill 7 to 1, in Rillo is 9 to 1, the Goffer 9 to 1, and Sam 10 to 1, 12 to 1 about Certainly Red and Tea Clipper, and 14 to 1, and bigger the rest of them. Poor. The one thing that should be mentioned here is the likes of the Goffer, Tea Clipper, all part of the Ultima form, which has obviously been put to good display in the last few weeks. The winner, Corrick Rambler, winning the Grand National, and then Fast or Slow coming out this week and winning the Punchestown Gold Cup. Jack, are you going to be siding with the Ultima form?
I'm not actually, no. That being said, I think Monbeg Genius could be a serious horse next season when you look at the Ultima form. To finish third in that company, being so inexperienced as well, kind of feel a little bit hard done by that I picked him. I can imagine you would if you picked Fast or Slow as well. But hey, what a race that's turned out to be. I'm going to go for a big old cliff horse here. Imrilo has to be well handicapped. He just has to be well handicapped. He's over 137. He wasn't on a going day's penultimate run at Kempton. Was sixth in the Coral Trophy when, again, not really looking on a going day for Anglish Chalida. I think he's just going to land a big handicap. It's just, I'm going to kind of back him until he does, and by then I'll probably just get my stake back or my investment back. Look, he was favourite for this 2 years ago when he was third, off 143. He's now off 137. Harry Cobden's on board. He's a double-figure price, and hopefully he'll be able to go closer. And Relo will do for me in a very tough race.
Yeah, like you've made the case there, and Enrilo was one of my two selections. I think he's got an excellent chance in here, and Cobden's and Nichols, they're another combination that do really well at Sandown. The other one that I want to give a mention to is a horse called Coolvala for the Chris Gordon stable. Rex Dingle takes. So I talk about level of consistency. This horse here, look at his form figures of recently 1, pulled up and then won. The pulled up came in the National Hunt Chase, where this horse just, I don't think he enjoyed Cheltenham. I don't think he enjoyed the trip at all. But you look at this horse's form, and look, he ran some big races at Fontwell over this trip. He actually beat a horse by 17 lengths called Colonel Keating, and look, it's not the best form in the world, but this horse, you don't know where his level could be. I really think he could be quite smart, Coolvala. Chris Gordon and Rex Dingle, they get along so well. They have so many winners together. I just think he's a little bit underestimating the market for a horse who's very, very consistent. I'd also say that Mucho Mas, hearing what Ben Pauling had to say about that horse, they've literally lined this race up for that horse. They're the two that I'd probably be playing each way, but I do think Inrillo is far too big a price. What do we make of Kitty's Light though, Jack? I mean, I think this horse just stays for days and think that could be a Grand National type for next year. I actually think that 3.5 miles might just be a little bit too short.
Yeah, very interesting look. He's an absolute warrior, isn't he? It was great to see him do the Scottish National in the way he did. I just kind of have a prejudice against the horse coming off such a quick turnaround into such a tough race. And on that basis, I wouldn't really be touching him with 3-1. The other one that I probably would back is Revels Hill. Let's not forget he was favourite here, wasn't he, at Christmas when he was beaten comfortably in the London National. I think he's got a lot of potential, and I still think he's probably well handicapped off 138. So Revels Hill will be the other one that I'd probably stick my neck out for.
Okay, Revels Hill and Inrillo would be the two for Jack there. And I'm going to be with Inrillo as well. He'd be my main selection, but I'll go Coolvala and Mucho Mas as two.
Nice.
They might be on it each way. Let's move into the final race that we're going to look at then, the 250 at Sandown, which is the 2 mile 6 furlong. Bet365, Oaksey Chase, a grade 2 event here. And Hewick is the 6-4 favourite here. This horse being re-diverted from Punchdown, hoping for good ground, and I really hope for their sake and the Hannon team that they do get the good ground. But 6-4 with Rachel Blackmore on board. Solo's 5-1 in. Eldorado Allen's 6-1. Fantastic Lady 10-1 along with First Flow. But Fabulous also 10-1. And Black Jerry for the Jamie Moore and Gary Motting 25-1. I texted you this morning and said Hewick's 6-4, what a price this is. My main worry now might be the ground, Jack, and we've got to just hope, because everyone loves this horse. I think one of the best sights that I saw at Cheltenham was seeing this horse get up in the Gold Cup, because it looked a really, really nasty fall when you saw it on the TV, especially on the TV cameras. It looked really nasty, and seeing this horse get up, I don't know what it is, but I've just got this weird connection with this horse where I just absolutely love him. I love what Shark Hannon's done. I love the fact they went to the American National at the back end of last year and went and won that, and I just would love to see him win here. I just worry about the ground for him, and it's fair to say that he may just need the good ground.
No, 100%. Yeah, as you say, I think he may need the good ground. I think it's going to be pretty well. I don't really trust good ground at Sandown ever. I know it was very good last year, but even when it's soft, it seems bottomless. You look at the Imperial Cup, my word, that ground was absolutely bottomless. I actually think the 11-year-old First Flow could have a chance here. Obviously, he fell in the Ascot Chase, but look, he's so versatile, and on his day, he's still very, very capable. He was by no means disgraced when third in the Peterborough Chase in December. Of course, won at Huntingdon back in December 2021, beating Fernando Savola by 4.5 lengths. Now, that seems a long time ago. It was actually only 4 runs ago. So if he still retains the ability, hopefully he'll be able to throw it up to Hewick. But hopefully we can. I'd also love to see Black Jerry run well for the Moore team. I'd love to see it, because you talk about consistent. This is the absolute opposite of it. First, pulled up, first. So hopefully he may even be able to add another one there. I think he's probably a little bit out of his depth. He's got about £20 to find with Hewick. But hopefully for me, First Flow will be able to stick his neck out.
Yeah, look, I think, like you said about punches down, a few shocks coming towards the back end of the season. Wouldn't surprise me in some of these graded races on Saturday whether we get a few surprises in that. And I think First Flow, especially if that ground does go the soft side, then he's a right chance in here. He really is. I mean, I hope Hewitt can go and win. I'd love to see him win this race, but it's a race that now I'm going to be waiting for the day. I probably won't end up having a bet in it, but First Flow, yeah, I agree with Jack. If it did come up soft, he'd have a fair chance. Now, Jack, we'll just cover sort of races that you want to cover elsewhere, because there are plenty of other races. You can even get the selection in for a horse that you put up midweek if you really want, because this is going out Thursday evening, so you can get selections in for Friday. So you want to give a mention to one at Chepstow, do you?
I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to be on Weather Watch today, and for the first 4 races before, I'll be timing them and having a look back at some historical times. And if the ground is actually good, as it says at the moment, I know there's haze at Chepstow this evening. There may be some rain overnight. I'll be waking up, doing my sun dance. The anti-rain dance will be coming up. I know Soul Icon's a very, very good horse and has a big chance, but Ralph McNee is 20-1. And if he gets summer or spring ground, Sam, he's got to be well handicapped off 124. Darryl Jacob is on board. He's 20-1. Look, I'm not saying get involved if you're watching this on Thursday night because he's not very versatile at all with regards to form. He's been pulled up on his last three. I'm losing my absolute marbles, but Raf McNee is going to land a big pot this summer. Is it going to come tomorrow? Please, let's pray for some sun.
Okay, Raf McNee. Are there any others you want to give a mention to over the weekend, Jack?
No, that's okay. That's me done.
You just want Raf McNee to go and win. I want to give a mention to a race in France at the weekend on Sunday, and Jack, you might even want to have a word on this, but there's an excellent race at Longchamp. The 250 there is the Prix Gannet, Group 1 over there, and what a field this is. Shame Luxembourg didn't come, because this could be one of the best Group 1s that you see all season, but Verdani, Ernesto, Real World, Bay Bridge, and there's some other good horses in there. We don't want to mention Junku, because we slated him at the start of the show. But I actually have a selection, and I'm going to put this up because he could be a really big prize for the Christopher Head team, and it's Sabio Sen. Now, the reason that I'm going to put this horse up each way is because, look, Bay Bridge and Verdani and Este, they're all top-class horses, but Sabio Sen is so unexposed. We hadn't seen this horse for a whole year when he came back at Saint-Cloud the last day and ran an excellent second in that race. I said to Christopher, I said, I bet you're delighted with that. And he said, we're so delighted and looking forward to seeing what he can do this year. And they have even mentioned that, look, from this they can decide whether he could be an Arc Hope. So there's obviously something in there where they think he's got a fair bit of ability. He was unbeaten before that. He'd only had 2 runs prior to that run at Saint-Cloud, and I think he could be very, very good. So do look out for Sabio Sen. A really great race, a race not to be missed that weekend. Jack, Bay Bridge, I mean, did you have a brief look at this race?
Yeah, I did have a look at the race. I think it's an absolute cracker. It will definitely be a watching brief for me. I actually think Bay Bridge is probably better over a mile and a half these days. You got the likes of Verdani there. I mean, brave of you to put up Sabio Sen in a race like this.
I know.
But it's an absolute cracker, isn't it? Also, I'm surprised you haven't mentioned Goshen's running it on Saturday at Sandown.
I was literally about to do it. I was literally about to end the show with that.
I'll leave you to it. But no, hopefully Bay Bridge will have a marvellous season. All roads lead to the Arc for me. I think he's going to have a cracking chance in the Arc, unless it's absolutely bottomless. But I think they finally decided that a bit of giving the ground is actually good for him, and hopefully we'll be able to see it in the Gannet.
Right. I can't wait for this end of the show, but we need to get the naps, Jack, for the weekend. What is going to be your best bet this weekend?
I'll tell you what, actually, before I say it, I actually think Goshen has an all right chance this weekend.
I'm going to put him up. I'm going to end the jump season by putting him up as my nap. I
think you're mad, but especially Time Hill's going back over.
It's not the first time I've been told that either. Being told I'm mad, but yeah, look, I think he is a right chance. To be fair, at Sandown, I just think. I think 7-2 at the moment is a really, really fair price in a race where I think, look, it's very open. I think any of them could win by the outside of them. But I think, gosh, I think we could see the best of him come this Saturday. And what a way to end the jump season that would be for me if he were to go and win. But I'll do it. I'll put him up as my nap because it'd be a fun way to end the jump season. Jack, go on. Who's going to be the nap?
Raf McNee, baby.
There we go.
Ground dependent.
Ground dependent, that's it. Well, I'd probably put up Hewick if it was ground dependent, but we'll wait and see. But yeah, Raf McNee, that's at Chepstow on Friday. And that is it for this week's show. End of the jump season. We will not be talking about jumps anymore until probably October, November time. That'll be when you next hear some jumps meetings from us. But it's all going to be flat from here on out. Next week, it really, really does start. The Guineas take place at Newmarket Saturday and Sunday. We'll probably have a video coming to you, though, Thursday evening or Friday morning, because we'll probably have a look at Goodwood as well. Jack and I will be attending. Well, I'll be attending one day. Jack will be attending one. Jack will be attending one day. I'll be attending both days. But we'll definitely be looking through the cards at Goodwood. So it'll be a Newmarket and Goodwood preview. Looking forward to seeing who Jack fancies in the Guineas next week. But other than that, Jack, it's been a great jump season. There's been some great moments: Cheltenham, Aintree, Dublin Racing Festival, King George. Were there any real highlights for you? I know which one comes to mind for you anyway.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, there were 2 things that I wished for at the beginning of the season: Langadan to win a big handicap, which happened, and a Hoy Senior to win a Grade 1, and that was so close to happening. But Langadan winning at Cheltenham was just there's not many feelings like it. Yeah, it was absolutely marvellous. So it would have to be that.
I think it might actually go down as one of my highlights of the season, not because of the horse in the moment, just because of the way that you reacted to it and just the messages I received and the pictures. I had a smile on my face the whole day when that came in for you.
I cannot believe it.
It was a special day. But look, that's it for the jump season. We're there, flat here on out, Jack. Really looking forward to the flat season. Really going to get started.
What was your highlight of the National Hunt season?
The main one. I actually thought the King George, seeing Brave Man's Game win that was quite special. I mean, it's a shame that we didn't see him go and win the Punchdown Gold Cup, but I thought that was a moment that I found quite special to watch. And look, any Gary Moore horse winning over fences or hurdles, that was another one. Editor Jeet's probably up there, to be fair. Has to be up there. I mean, you've mentioned that Niall, he's a big supporter of the channel in terms of coming on some of our shows, but I just thought, look, it was massive for Niall. Seeing him jump out in front and displaying like he did at Cheltenham and also at Kempton, that was magical, and it's a shame that he didn't really get his ground in the champion chase, because I still think he would have run a massive race in that had he got good ground. But yeah, I think that's got to be up there. Seeing Niall land some graded winners, get his first grade 1 on the board, and hopefully many more. Like you say, he's in for a big future as a jockey. He's a really talented jockey. So yeah, that's got to be up there. Seeing our boy Niall really push through the season. So there we go. Yeah, Jack, looking forward to the flat season.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm absolutely buzzing. There's no more rain, hopefully, as well. We've had a very wet March and April. It seems like it's very cold. Let's warm up and have some Pims at Goodwood, I say.
Oh, I can't wait. Good ground at Goodwood, Pims, sunshine. It's all going to be going on. Hopefully next Friday there'll be plenty of pictures of myself and Jack up at the racecourse. Like I say, we're back next probably Thursday evening or Friday morning with a video of our weekend preview, and we'll be having plenty of videos, maybe some special videos as well midweek during the season, so do look out for them. But thanks for all the support during the jump season. Do like, do subscribe, do share, get your comments in with your weekend naps, and we will see you next week for our weekend preview. Thanks for watching.